have always been quite a free bird, I would like to say, and I've actually moved house nearly 40 times. It's so crazy, isn't it? I've been called a gypsy a few times. I'm definitely a travelling Romany gypsy. And my career as a flight attendant obviously meant that I was living out of a bag for quite some time. So I suppose it's only fitting that around 3 years ago I bought my van and I renovated it with the help of my partner and put a bed in there and some shelving, and have been on so many road trips with him. He's called Vinny because obviously a van has to have a name. We've been waiting on some really important news and I've been so anxious and just like heart palpitations. And when I get really anxious, I get really constricted and quite stifled and quite suffocated. But I know that when I feel this way, that the best thing I can do is just either get in the car and just drive, or get in my van and just go for a little explore somewhere. So I woke up on Saturday morning and I said, come on Paul, my partner, we're going to go and hit the road. And we didn't know where we were going. I obviously have to be quite prepared. I knew that we were just going to go away for one night. I soaked my Frio pack, which stores my insulin, and it keeps it really cool for 48 hours. So if anyone hasn't looked already, check out Frio. And I always take spare insulin and an abundance of my needles, and I also take, because I'm on the Dexcom, I normally take an extra Dexcom just in case that doesn't work, or stops working I should say, and my old school finger prick, because you just never know. I'd rather put that in the van and just be really safe. And we headed off on our road trip and drove over the mountains, and the first stop was Featherstone, and we went to a little cheese deli called Sea Cheese. I thought that was brilliant, and we grabbed some cheeses and snacks and olives, and I really loved all their products in there. Then we carried on driving and went all through these beautiful farmlands, and it was so tranquil. And we ended up driving to a place called the Pinnacles, where some of the Lord of the Rings was filmed, and it is absolutely amazing. It's all these really high tall rock formations, and it's very unusual, and we had a really good walk all the way through there. And once we'd had a nice walk through the Pinnacles, we carried on to a place called Cape Palliser. We went to see the lighthouse and were faced by a lot of stairs, hundreds of stairs, and it was so windy. We were blowing around. Oh, it was so funny. But I managed to get up the steps and stood at the top, and the views were just exhilarating. You could see for miles, and it was such a cool spot. And we carried on in our van and passed a load of seal pups in the pools. That was incredible. And then as we carried on our journey, we could see all these surfers out, and it is so cool watching surfers, isn't it? It's just, oh, I'm so envious. I would love to be able to get out there and do what they do. The water was freezing. I just, wow, stamina. So we pulled up and watched them, and then noticed that everyone was just staying there for the night. So we thought, oh, we'll just stay here. So we just pulled up and set up our little camp for the night. We made like a really nice cheese platter with all the bits that we bought from the shop, and we just sat and watched all the surfers, and then the most phenomenal sunset, which, oh, the colours are just absolutely incredible. So we watched the sunset, and then the next morning, after a really good sleep, made some breakfast and made a cup of tea and just sat watching the waves and just taking a good hour to just really breathe and take it all in. It was just what I needed, and all the problems just melted away. My anxiety was completely gone, and I felt like a new woman. I feel lucky that I'm able to acknowledge and be aware of how I'm feeling and when I'm feeling and what those triggers are and actually what I need to do. And I think it's just really important to take some time out and really listen in to your body and notice what's going on, and also really tapping into the tools that you can use for what you need at that time. Sometimes you need to burn off energy and it's really good to go for a walk or a run. Sometimes it's good to go inward when you're feeling exhausted and just lay on the sofa and read, or just watch a really good film. But I knew that my anxiety stemmed from feeling quite claustrophobic, and I needed to get out. It changed my entire outlook on life. It changed the way I manage my diabetes. I'm much more in control and able to cope, and my body felt fantastic. And drove a little bit further and came across this gorgeous little cafe in the middle of nowhere, and it had a little gift shop and it had a fire, and the fire wasn't on, but I thought I can imagine in the winter it would be absolutely wonderful, and they made the most delicious cakes and coffee, and I really enjoyed that. I encourage you to really tap into that and how you feel, and take note and to use your tools. What are your tools and how can they help you? And I definitely recommend jumping in the car and going for a drive. Get the windows down, play your music loud, scream, shout, sing, do whatever you need to do to get it out of your body. And so I hope you enjoyed this little snippet into my last couple of weeks and what I've been up to. And keep going everybody, and sending you all my love. Bye.